Hello and welcome to Out and About on the Recumbents. And just want to let you guys know the first part of this video is basically it's our way to show you how hard it is to get to the Sandcreek Trail here in Colorado Springs. You're going to see that we start out on the trail. We start out on the Homestead Trail South, and then it just basically disappears because of construction and other things going on, and we have to take a much longer street route all over the place, and even have to do some sidewalks and stuff we don't normally like to do. But we wanted to get finally worked our way over to the airport road, where the Sandcreek Trail heading south actually starts. It's kind of the access path from Airport Road over to the actual Sandcreek Trail. We didn't go north because that ends at Powers. We went south and continued on, and then from then we basically headed back home on the Pikes Peak Greenway. So we did a little dirt. All right, so hey, just wanted to let you know what's going on. Thanks for watching the video, and enjoy. Bye.
Good morning. BJ and Joe Ondo out and about on the recumbents, although it's actually good afternoon. It's 2 minutes after noon here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, Mountain Standard Time. And the first half of the video is the ugly half that shows you just how hard it is to get to where we can actually pick up the Sandcreek Trail. This is the Sandcreek Trail. So, here we go. Yeah, this trail goes north and south, and someday, long after Joe and I are gone, you'll be able to pick this trail up off of the northern part of the Rock Island Trail, northeast part of the Rock Island Trail, and clear up at Constitution Avenue, and you'll be able to take it all the way down to here. We're just off of Airport Road, and then this will take you all the way down to Hancock Expressway, and then a little more over to Las Vegas Street, and then from there you jump on the you jump on kind of a I guess a little extension of the Pikes Peak Greenway over Fountain Creek, and then to the Pikes Peak Greenway. Yeah, and then you can go either north or south, whichever way you want to go, either towards downtown Colorado Springs or towards the little town of Fountain, heading south. But yeah, like I said, this is the Sandcreek Trail, and we're not going to bother with the checking to see if they do any repairs on the upper part that ends at Powers Boulevard. Once we get over the little bridge here, if you go north, it dead ends at Powers Boulevard right now, but they've got some really severe trail damage. I mean, really severe. A little too low of a gear. Passing on your left, thank you. Howdy. But yeah, this is like I said, we just jumped off of Airport Road, and luckily that has a bike lane. Hello? And this is like where it starts, but this is actually just an extension too, to get you over to the true Sandcreek Trail. We have to go over this little bridge that we're coming up on. Yeah, and it is a absolutely beautiful day. I mean, it is so nice. It's going to be like 75 degrees. There's hardly any wind. Howdy. And it's going to be sunny. They're not talking about any cloud, any real chance of rain at all. Okay. So now this little bridge here, this is what I call the actual Sandcreek Trail. And like I said, if you go to your left, that way will take you up to Powers Boulevard at its current end, going east, I guess you'd say. Oh no, I guess it'd be north. It kind of goes north, then it goes I don't know. A lot of these paths are really kind of confusing because they do kind of go multi-directions, They'll start out at west, east, and end up north-south, just because most of these paths here in Colorado Springs are, like I said, urban trails or paths, and they go right along drainage ditches or creeks, you know. And I need to switch hands here, so give me just a second. There we go. Needed to gear up one. Passing on your left. Thank you very much. Have a good day. But yeah, you know, this time of year it's a pretty area because the leaves are starting to change and everything. And howdy. Good morning. And it's like a mom and her daughter's out for a ride. But yeah, one of these days they'll get the Sandcreek Trail all hooked up, and it will go a considerable distance. But till then, we'll just have to enjoy the views from the Sandcreek Trail that we've got. And yeah, like I said, we'll end up to where we're either gonna have to take the Pikes Peak Greenway, the dirt part, back into Colorado Springs. Well, back into downtown Colorado Springs, I should say. And then or we'll take a road route. Well, it's a bike lane on the Hancock Expressway itself that'll take you back into downtown Colorado Springs too. Just according to how, you know, I mean, according to how we feel and everything. Probably go ahead and try to do the Pikes Peak Greenway. The only bad thing is under the underpasses of Nevada Street and Tejon Street, a lot of times have a whole lot of homeless, and it's really hard to get through them. Yeah, go down underneath here. Woo. Nice and cool. This one's in really good shape. Sometimes it's full of glass and garbage, and right now the only thing it's full of is grasshoppers. These grasshoppers, boy. Okay, I'm waiting on Joe here. Where are you, Jojo? Here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes. Yeah, there she is. All right. But yeah, this is another, of course, urban trail. As you can see, we've got apartments or condominiums, whatever these are. I think there might be a little combo of both right there. And then just down at the end of the fence line here, we've actually got a high school, Sierra High School. And then this will take us to another underpass, and we'll go under Academy Boulevard, which sometimes that one can be kind of full and nasty. So we'll have to see how that goes. But like I said, today's a stunning day, and just very lucky to be, as we call it, poor but retired. Yeah. If you have a choice between being working poor and retired poor is much better. Somebody overwatering their lawn here. Oh yeah, that was hard. Yeah. You know, with all these trees, you know, the roots grow under, and sometimes the concrete is not smooth and level at all. Okay, we're coming up on a street intersection here. I believe this is Fountain Boulevard. These are some of those new tiny homes. Kind of cool, really. I wouldn't mind that they got a nice, you know, workout center and all kinds of stuff. I would not mind living in one of these at all. But out of our way out of our little tiny income. Although we're not bitching because we appreciate it. I mean, we earned our Social Security retirement. We don't have disability. Okay. So like I said, we earned our Social Security retirement. Every dime, with a lot of lousy jobs and working for really crappy bosses and, putting up with a lot of garbage for a lot of years. But we don't, we never made a lot of money. So we don't have the world's biggest, largest Social Security retirement income level. But we're very fortunate. It's one of the reasons we decided not to try to afford a car, because this way it leaves us with enough money to be able to go for a walk, go for a ride, get an iced tea, maybe once in a while I get real lucky and be able to afford lunch out or a dinner out. So we're very happy. All right. Hello. Oh, there's that upright trike. That's pretty cool. You don't see a lot of upright trikes. Howdy. Yeah, the only reason we don't ride upright trikes is they tip over real easy in turns. I mean, they really do. You really don't want to ever take a turn more than about 10 miles an hour on an upright trike, because you got to realize your center of gravity is so high, and unlike a bicycle, unlike a two-wheeler, it's an advantage because you lean, but on a trike it's not that way. Howdy. Thank you. Have a good day. Okay, we got some folks down here. Hello, passing on your right. Thank you. I got to get up this hill here. Up. Oh, wrong gear. Oh man, I should have either geared up or leveled up, one of the two. Hopefully my wife was smarter than I am. Yeah, for a long time, for many years, the trail abruptly ended down this way, and we had to get out there and go through the shopping center. But now they finally got the money to finish the trail all the way. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, sorry. Ah, allergies, nose itch like crazy. Oh, man, that nose just itches like crazy. And people keep cutting holes in this fence. I feel sorry for the businesses because people keep cutting a hole in that fence so they can get over to there's like, some stores over there. There's like a You Bake It pizza place and a couple other, there's all across the academy, there's a Subway's, and so, oh boy. Oh yeah, some of this concrete is not not real smooth, boy, I'll tell you. And you do have to be careful with glass. Always a lot of broken glass. All these trails have a lot of homeless, it's called a lot of these trails are, nicknamed the Hobo Highway. Although they're not really hobos, they're just homeless. So they got a mess down here. Yeah, just trash, which is really sad. But you can see where they put holes and stuff, and but at least the trail goes all the way through now. You just have to, put up with the trash. Yeah, this is the part that back about where this bench started. That's where it used to end, and you had to fight your way around or go use the bike lane over on. I don't know the name of the street over there. I think it's Astrazon, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So, so yeah, even with all those diversions and street crossings, we're still on the Sandcreek Trail. And I think we'll go ahead and do the Pikes Peak Greenway today. Okay. I'm going to let Joe catch the light for me. That's why we had that pause. Oh, let's go. It's so nice they put this crossing in, I'll tell you. This used to be really scary. Go ahead, sweetie. You know where we're going? Oh, man. Yeah, Sandcreek Trail, Pikes Peak Greenway, downtown, via trail. So I don't know how long actual recording time that I have on the GoPro Mini 11 because it's, the battery's built in. So you can't change out the battery. That's the one, howdy? That's the one limitation of the GoPro Mini series. It doesn't matter which one. Once this battery dies, that's it. You go buy a new camera. That's why they're cheaper. But I've been, really happy with it. It's amazing that a gentleman from Canada, first name Doug, won't tell you the last name, basically gifted us this camera. He just said, hey, I was talking about, I want to get a new camera so I could have a dual camera setup. And he said, hey, I got a GoPro Mini 11 that I haven't used. It's been sitting in the closet for quite a while, doing nothing. So I asked him how much he wanted for it. And he said, how about free? And I said, well, free's for me. That's one of the several Ondo mantras. If it's free, it's for me. Because when you're retired poor, you take any contribution and you take it with pure humility and say thank you very much. But yeah, so like I said, this will take us down to Las Vegas Street. Actually, now this actually takes us under Las Vegas Street now. I forgot. Yeah, so you don't have to get on Las Vegas Street anymore. You used to have to get on Las Vegas Street and cross kind of a dangerous little bridge, and to be able to pick up the rest of this trail that hooks up to the Pikes Peak Greenway. But now you don't have to do that anymore. And as you can see, it is a pure urban trail. There's businesses over here. They've got a children's prison just down the road here. This is kind of unique. they put this under here, under this railroad bridge, and then found out that stuff kind of drops out from that railroad bridge, so they had to put a roof under a bridge to keep the rocks off your head. Thank you. There's a real good view of Cheyenne Mountain there. Now that's the children's prison. Howdy. Yeah, that one up there with the antennas, that's Cheyenne Mountain. I don't know what the other, mountainous peak is over there. Although, like I've told you before, in Colorado, these are not actually mountains. These are very high foothills, but they're not mountains per se because they don't have a tree line. But they still call it Cheyenne Mountain, so we'll let them have it. They have Cheyenne Mountain State Park, which is really pretty and a great place if you want a RV trailer, and I think they have some tent camping, but not a lot. Yeah, this is the bridge we used to have to go across and play with traffic, but now it goes underneath. Oh, we got a big old hill here. Okay, well, we're back. We had a little mishap. We're not sure what's going on with Joe's e-assist system, but okay, Joe. I'm not sure what's going on with her e-assist system, but the little gauge, that shows, the little lighted gauge, should show she's got no battery, but her system says she has 44 volts, but she has a 48 volt system. She should have charged her battery, and so right now we're running on. Okay, we just jumped off of the Sandcreek and onto the Pikes Peak Greenway. As you can tell, it's dirt, which is not our favorite, but we'll put up with it today, just so we could do the Sandcreek Trail and do something a little different. Now, like I said, so I mean, our trikes are capable of doing, this type of a dirt trail, because it's not deep, but we will have to do a bit of a weirdo because they still probably have it blocked off going straight. I don't know for sure. Yeah, you should have put it down into your lowest gear. If you come up on any type of an uphill at all, you put it in your lower gear. In fact, if you want, just put it into your lowest gear and just spin there. So you can go into first. Or you can stay in second. Whatever you want to do. You're strange. I'm trying to make it easy on you, and you're just like, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so I don't know if they're going to have I don't know if we can get through under Circle Drive yet. Probably not, so we'll probably have to, grasshoppers, yuck. That's kind of a pretty view of Fountain Creek. Because down here it's Fountain Creek. We're south far enough to where it's Fountain Creek and not Monument Creek. Got a lot of water too. It's usually a lot more sandbars than so. Okay, now drop it into your lowest gear. Okay. I dropped it back there. Oh, you dropped it. Okay. I was going to say, because we got a little bit of an uphill here. Oh, I should have dropped the lower to a lower gear too. But the gear I'm in is probably about as low as yours would go. Yeah, trail's closed, so we got to go over this way. That's okay. I need to do a pit stop. Yeah. This is the El Pomar Youth Sports Center. They do soccer, they do lacrosse, they do baseball, all that kind of stuff. As you can see, the trail is closed going this way, and that's because they're still working on the Circle Drive bridges. They're replacing their 75-year-old bridges, and which they needed it, but those are really hard to replace bridges because they're like 40 feet in the air. So we're going to take a break here real quick, and we will get back to you. All right. Okay, well, oh man, yeah, I kind of forgot about the Circle Drive bridge construction. So we had to take an on-city street detour, and then an extremely bumpy dirt connector to get back to the Pikes Peak Greenway trail. Like I said, yeah, it's really hard for Joe because Joe only has a 7-speed, and I think she has like an 1128 cassette, which is not really good. But we didn't have the money to put e-assist on it and update it to a 10-speed. We should have updated it to a 10-speed first and then put the e-assist on it. But when we get back to the cement, go ahead and turn your motor back on, because you're going to need some help getting up those inclines, especially out of Tejon. But we'll head for the park, because otherwise you're not going to get anything. Howdy. And but yeah, this is the southern part of the Pikes Peak Greenway. Thank you. And the sad thing about it is I can't trade trikes with Joe, because Joe's so short-legged that there's no way I can ride her trike. And of course, she couldn't ride mine either. She wouldn't be able to reach the pedals. So she's kind of stuck. We'll back off here and give her a little room, trying to get up this little hill, because she's in her lowest gear and it ain't very low. That's the problem. You're almost there. There you go. Now what we did is we turned off the motors, and hopefully they don't, these aren't regenerative motors per se, but the battery can actually build back up if you don't use it. Another pretty decent view of the creek. Got some ducks flapping around out there. Yeah, the only problem with this part of the trail is that it looks like it's flat, but it's actually not. It has a lot of little ups and downs. Although we should be getting over to the flatter spot here pretty quick. We got an old bridge we got to go over. Hanging in there?
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, if you need a rest, you know, just find some shade, pull over, and because, you know, that's something we probably should have done. We probably should have got it converted to a 10-speed before we got you a new e-assist system. But the problem of it is your old e-assist system used a freewheel, not a cassette. So it had a total, I could get a 10-speed setup for it. Yeah, this is not the concrete I was talking about. I kind of forgot about this concrete. Well, as you can see, like I said, it's a gorgeous day today. Oh, pardon the junk. Yeah, you get spoiled because you think, oh well, we're going to be on the concrete. No, only for a little while. I'm not sure why they decided to do just that section, except for maybe it had something to do with the bridge. Yeah, yeah. Okay, you're going to have to start spinning hard to get up this little hill. Give it everything you got. I'll back way up so you can slow down as much as you need. And if you have to stop, stop. I'll come past you and then I'll come help you. You're doing good. Doing good. Probably going to get a little bit of slippage though. Yeah. Don't take much. When you're having to torque the pedals, that's when you lose traction when you have regular street tires on dirt. I guess that's a tree that fell over. Because the bush doesn't usually grow out that much. Yeah, it was a tree. I'll have to let the foresters know about that. But I'm also not using any power, and keeping it in a lower gear to try to match hers. Because I have an 11 by 40, she only has an 11 by 28. So I'm guessing which one of mine is a 28. So we can keep about the same pace. And we're coming up on the bridge. Got it. So yeah, this is going to be kind of a longish video. I have to see how long it comes out. Comes out too long, I'll have to make it part 1 and part 2. Bump. Arg. There we go. Yeah, it's a real shame too, because many years ago when Joe and I were younger and we were riding mountain bikes, we used to do this trail all the time because we lived in Security, and it was literally the fastest way to get from Security to Colorado Springs by bicycle, because otherwise you had to use highways and back streets and back roads and back streets, and it was kind of a mess. So we used the Greenway, but it was very pristine back then. There was no trash. There was no, there was no homeless camps. Okay, you got to pedal to get up this hill. I'm going to back off here and let you. Howdy. It won't make you feel any better, but I'm straining just as hard as you are. We're both gonna have to put icy hot on our knees and shit when we get home. When we get closer to that next bridge, as we get a little closer, we get out from underneath the 470 there, or the what you call it, the Martin Luther King, whatever the heck it's called. Howdy. And I'll probably go ahead and have you turn your motor back on, because that one dirt hill you're not going to be able to make on your own. Howdy? Because that one's steep. That's the only one that's really, really, really steep and long. Everything else is steep, but it's short, so. Huh? Yeah. Well, that's because it's a higher uphill slope, so the tires dig in more, so it creates more loose gravel. That's kind of my problem with dirt, because, if this was all concrete, wouldn't have mattered if it rained, but if it had rained the day before, we wouldn't have done this road this trail, because it would be muddy. I mean, really muddy in places. Yeah, it's really a shame all these trees are in the way, because there's about 4 man-made rock falls in a row, and it's actually kind of pretty for being an ugly creek, because it is an ugly creek. It's not a pretty creek. It's just not a pretty creek. It flows through cities. I'm not exactly sure where it starts, though. I've never figured that out. Well, I guess the Fountain Creek part of it actually starts coming off of North Cheyenne Canyon, goes down through Manitou, and then heads into Colorado Springs. But the Monument Creek part, that I don't know where it starts. Oh man, that's a bad one. Big old divot in the dirt, like somebody dug a small trench. Strange too, because it's really small, so it's not like it's nowhere near the size. It's more like the size of like one of our bike tires, but it's like 2 inches deep. But at least looks like the homeless outreach police and the rangers have done really better job of trying to keep this area at least semi-clear, because man, for a while it was really bad. There was just huge transient, tent setups just all over the place, and trash was everywhere. I mean, yes, there's trash here today, but nowhere near as bad as it's been before. And they like to camp underneath the MLK bypass over there. That's what that bridge structure is the MLK bypass off I-25. Yeah, it really is a shame because it used to be totally pristine. I mean, there was like nothing. You could just travel it all day. Howdy. And so now we're under the MLK bypass. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that our friend Pitmaster Toby likes. If you haven't seen his channel, his YouTube channel, please check it out. I think it's Barbecue and Trikes, or Trikes and Barbecue. Can't remember. I have to look it up again. But try both ways, because he's an off-road trike specialist. That's what he is. He does stuff on his trike I wouldn't even think about doing on mine. But now his trikes are much newer. My trike's 14 years old. Joe's is 16 years old. And these trikes are probably going to have to last us till we pass away. So, we've been fixing them up. We just put new tie rod ends, ball joints, whatever you want to call them, on mine. And on October 8th, we'll be having those put on Joe's. So my front end is much better feeling now. Okay, Joe, go ahead and kick your motor on. I don't know what you'll get, but I'd put it up on at least 2 and see what it'll give you. And go for it. Did it give you any more bolts? No? Okay. Then it's not it's not recouping. Darn, I was hoping it would recoup. I had thought about going up Tejon Street bike lane, but we're not going to do that because you'll never make it. No, we'll just have to head for the park. And so probably what I'm going to do is, once we get to America the Beautiful Park, I'll probably end the video for the day, because otherwise it's going to be a 3-hour video, So basically, it might get made into a 2-part. The first one would be all music. Okay, Joe, you need your power on this one. You're going to have to turn it on. Stop. Turn on. Gotta let your motor get on. Okay, now put it up to 3. Okay. All right, back it off then. All right, get off your trike. Set your brakes. I'll go ahead and push it up the hill. Okay, as soon as I can get mine to stop. Okay, well, we're going to have to get back to you, folks. She can't get up the hill. Her motor's giving her nothing. All right. Bye for now. Okay, well, I ended up having to push Joe's trike up a long dirt incline. Okay, oh, bumpy. This is a really bumpy old bridge. Not going to be able to see too much. It's too bad. There's a really nice, like, 4-tier waterfall kind of, well, rock fall kind of thing. Ah, man, this bridge is terrible. There you go. Check that out. That's kind of cool. And except for the traffic noise, and you can probably see the cars up there, that's I-25. Noisy as crazy. So this is another urban trail. The Pikes Peak Greenway is pretty much all urban trail. There's really there's no rail trail to it. But it is funny, you know. You go over here and you see cars and signs, and you go over here and you see trees and flowers and that's a sign of a true urban area trail. Okay, when you go down onto the low bridge, you need to fly because you got a pretty good slope up the other side. You're going to need to fly. So the minute you turn that corner, crank the snot out of it. We're going to try to keep it over here for you guys and keep it away from the I-25 side. But yeah, you know, except for the trash here and there, actually in pretty good shape today. Not a lot of homeless doing campouts. There's some. I saw at least 2 tents underneath the MLK bypass that we went under. Here pretty soon we're going to go under the low bridge. Well, not under. We're going to go over the low bridge. If you went under the low bridge, you'd be in the creek. Yeah, taking a bath, as Joe said. There's a pretty good view of Pikes Peak up there. I don't know if, you know, these little GoPros don't have a true telephoto or anything, a zoom lens. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to keep this going until we get to America the Beautiful, which is a park in downtown Colorado Springs. It's where where Fountain Creek and Monument Creek meet at the confluence, as they call it. As I've told you before, the original name of the park was Confluence Park. And then in the bicentennial year, 76, they went all crazy and made it, you know, America the Beautiful Park. So they, yeah, it's just an exaggeration. But they put up a fancy plaque and all that stuff, so now they got to go with it. But it does have a really good view of Pikes Peak. Howdy. Okay, we're coming up on the bridge, babe. Like I said, when you start going down, pedal like crazy. Yeah, this is what they call the low bridge, because if the water's really kicking, you can't get across it. So we'll have to hope that it's not kicking that hard. Come on, baby. Up, 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 up. Whew. Yeah. Man. Yeah, we're really going to have to get hers converted to a 9 or a 10 speed. The only reason I caught up to her is because I have a little stronger legs than she does. Other than that, I wouldn't have. Because the way we're pedaling with about the same push. And that was the idea. Not fair for me to be using e-assist. You okay? Huh? Okay. Okay, so Joe's taking a break after that last incline. Give her a chance to bring her heart rate down a little bit. Creek's right over there. And this area over here used to be an RV thing, like way back in the 70s. I don't know when it closed. I don't think it made it to the 80s. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And it's been dead ever since. Usually the homeless use it for a camp stage area sometimes, but they'll come and get cleaned out by the homeless outreach police. We actually do have three or four cars that are made for homeless outreach. In fact, we got passed by them on our way on the Rock Island, heading to the starting point for the South Homestead Trail, where we started the first the music video. As you can see, there's a old spot left over from the original. Okay, now we're going to go underneath Nevada Avenue, and this might not be the world's best. The bad thing about it is we kind of need to rock because it's got a little bit of an incline on the other side, but you just can't go that fast because you never know what's down there. Because even if there's not people, there could be ice chests, shopping carts, you name it. And that doesn't look too bad today. Although we got a big shopping cart over here. Okay, we got a really good incline on the other side of Tejon here. You're just going to have to grunt Either that or just go to where you have to stop, and then I'll bypass you and come back. Oh, this is going to be fun. I guess he's going to move over for us. All right. Okay, hit it. Howdy. Hello. Just take your time. If you can't get it, just stop. I'll come help you. You get up here in front. Okay. Okay, well, I had to stop and help Joe up another hill. Yeah, it's a pretty steep one coming out from under the Tejon underpass there. So yeah, we're still on the Pikes Peak Greenway, and we're heading for America the Beautiful Park. And luckily there's not too many more real good uphills, but there is one more to get into the park. And so I'll probably have her just stop at the base and go back with mine, and then I'll walk hers up. And I guess we'll stop at Monument Valley Park and have our snack. I was going to go downtown to the Starbucks downtown, but with Joe's e-assist being dead, we just need to head on back. And Monument Valley would be the flattest way to go. Oh, there is a couple of hills. Oh, there's always hills. If you're in Colorado Springs, there's always a hill. Okay. Passing on your left. Passing on your left. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, nothing.
As you can see how slow she is just on a little tiny hill. And we've got at least two good sized ones. There's one before you get up into the park. And then there's another one. There's one through the park. We'll have to go the flat way around. And I guess I should say the flattest way around, because no matter which way you go out of the park, you got to go uphill, at least one. And to get to the park, you got one hill. You know, it's not really a big hill. It's just a good incline. But I don't know if she can get it up it or not. We'll have to see. Yeah, and like I said, the bummer about it is that Joe and I have such a difference in leg length that she can't ride mine. I just let her ride mine, and I just huff it out on hers. But hers is so short in the boom area that I'd blow out my knees in a mile. Because there was one time I had to get it up. She was sick of some sort, and I had to get it up to Angle Tech. And I mean to tell you, that was a rough day. By the time I got to Angle Tech, my knees were literally just bright red and screaming at me. But because she's so short-legged, they had to cut part of her boom. So even if I could extend it, which you couldn't extend it far enough for me because the wiring on the e-assist system is set for Joe. If somebody else with longer legs got her trike, they'd have to go in and have it wire added. Another view of one of the, I guess that'd be the western face of the, jeez Louise. He's got to be going his full 28 miles an hour. Well, that's got to be top speed because I'm sure that's a class 3. .28 miles an hour top speed, and probably it doesn't have pedal assist. It's probably strictly throttle. Yeah, they've got the, I don't know how you pronounce it, Chiquita, I don't know, bugs going. It's funny because usually when it starts to cool down, they take a hike. They go someplace warmer. But we just, it's so funny because yesterday was solid clouds. The sun rarely showed out at all. And, you know, we were in long sleeves and you know, long pants. And it was chilly. We did our first stop for lunch. It took us a while to figure out whether we wanted hot tea or iced tea. Now the old bridge over here, that goes across the creek, and that'll take you over to 8th Street. Well, it takes you over, yeah, that'll take you over to 8th Street and Bear Creek Park. I think that's Bear Creek Park, yeah. Bear Creek Park. But Bear Creek Park is all, it's all dirt. And it's really more mountain bike than it is, although they've got plenty of wide roads. So if you had a you know, an Azub Tie-Fly X, you know, with semi-knobby to knobby tires, like Toby does, you can go over there and have some fun. But otherwise, it's just too slick. Street tires, you never get up the hills. You might with e-assist. E-assist can do some pretty neat things, but probably still need at least a semi-knobby. Howdy. Yeah, we're not too far from our ending point. We got this one more incline before we can hit America the Beautiful. Or I should say get in. We don't want to hit America the Beautiful. But yeah. So I think I'll start the formalities and say thanks for coming along. And we'd appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, and share our video. Now there comes the electric unicycle. Those things are kind of cool. Joe and I could never do it. Our balance isn't that good. And besides that, my feet couldn't handle being all that pressure for the whole time. So I like about my trike, I just sit on my butt. Okay, Joe, this is where it's going to get tough. You're going to have to give it everything you got. I'll back up and let you get going, and then I'll push it up if you get to where you can't go any further. Yeah, it's just incline right here. It's not terrible, but it's not easy either. Doing great. Doing great. Almost there. Just a little bit more, and you'll have it. Just a little bit more. All right. Good job. Yeah, this particular spot here, I don't know why, but the homeless really like this spot. Oh, sorry, I forgot about this one, but after the last one, this one won't seem so bad. We'll stop at America the Beautiful. Back off a little bit and let you get some room. Okay. Yeah, this is where you really miss that triple chain wheel, boy. If you said your triple chain wheel, you could drop it down into a 22, you know. But we both got 46s in the front, which we may have to drop that down to 44s or maybe even 42s. We don't care about top end, okay? We just don't give a rat's. If you want to go super fast, well, we'll see you later. Yeah, sayonara. That's not our thing. We are smell the roses, kick back, enjoy the ride. It's like I told Joe, if we didn't have our anniversary is October 3rd, to be our 45th wedding anniversary, and so we're going up to we're taking the bus, air conditioned, bathroom, luxury seats, up to Cripple Creek, and then we're going to go after lunch. We're going to go see the melodrama. And the Halloween melodrama, The Vampire of Cripple Creek. And yeah, we're really looking forward to that. But if we didn't, if we didn't have that, the expense of that, then with today's weather and tomorrow's weather, we might have done an overnight to Canyon City, which is 40 miles to the south of us on Highway 115. Not the easiest ride because they have they have these huge 3-foot wide rumble strips, which are just nuts. I don't know why they need those things. I understand the little ones; they're bad enough because we don't have front suspension, so those things just beat us to death. Okay. Well, we're just about at our stopping point. So I'm just going to do this solo. So from BJ and Joe Hondo, out and about on the Recumbents on a really beautiful day in America, the Beautiful Park. Till we see you next time, may you have a great day and a great upcoming weekend, and may you get in some fabulous rides. All right. Bye for now.